You're listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, where a group of nobodies speak to an actual somebody. And now your hosts, John and Frank.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Frank.
And you are listening to the Nothing Podcast.
With Nobody Important.
And this week, Frank, we have got an actual, real-life hero on our hands.
A hometown hero,
and
as
not
they
the
say.
sandwich. Not the sandwich. He makes that very clear.
Right, and I hope everybody's banging their pots and clapping out their windows right now.
It might as well be. Listen to this at 7 o'clock on the dot, as a matter of fact. Do that. Pay your respects.
Yeah, so today we have Andy.
Yep, he's an EMT, which is, we find out. Well, we know, but we find out for sure in the show.
Yeah, but it's like extraterrestrial Martian something,
Yeah,
right?
terrain. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's an EMT. He takes care of people, saves people's lives.
He tells us stories that are like hilarious. He tells us stories that are touching. He tells us stories that are gross.
Absolutely.
And he also discusses things he's found inside people's anuses.
That's right, which is, of course, the most important thing. We do all of our games. We do some extra games, and we do an improv game, which is something we haven't done in a long time.
Yeah, we dusted them off.
Definitely, but the improv game is at the very end of the episode, so this is a trap. You have to stay all the way to the end of the episode to catch that. It's not going up as a clip on Instagram,
That's
you
right.
cheaters. I'm
That's
not doing
right.
it.
Invest.
Absolutely.
So don't get mistaken for a paramedic.
Give yourself a big old thumbs up.
Cover your embarrassing priapism.
And cut your shirt right down the middle.
Because here's our guest.
I'm Andy, and I'm an EMT.
Well, John, we finally got one.
I know. It's all we've ever wanted. An actual person who does something actually important.
And Andy is an EMT, which I believe stands for, we know, this is
Emergency Medical.
Micromanaging.
We got a lot to learn. Andy, welcome.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's a pleasure to be here today.
We're in Andy's house.
I know you're you're not used to talking on the mic, so we appreciate you doing this for us.
No problem. Anything for you guys.
But before you start, we got to hit you with a lightning round.
Let's do it.
Andy, you have 30 seconds to explain how you would get a 550-pound woman down a 3-flight walk-up. Go.
Call the fire department.
Got it. He's in, baby.
I like to think that's my answer to pretty much anything. Call the fire department.
Cat and tree.
That's it. So, Andy, you are an EMT, an emergency medical technician, right?
Yes.
What's that like?
It's very interesting.
I imagine it is.
It's never the same.
Right.
Even though you deal with a lot of the same people a lot of the time. It's scary. It gets your blood pumping.
Sure.
It's dangerous, and then it's boring. All in the same 12 hours.
You can really get a range of emotions in that,
Beautiful.
in that career.
Yes.
You're
really
bored,
do.
you're scared, you're sad, you're happy, you're running.
It's cool. How many people are in an ambulance at a given time? Working.
Well, it's usually myself and a partner, so it's usually two of us working.
Got it. And who has to drive and who has to be in the back?
Typically, we rotate who drives and who texts.
Who rides on the back? Oh, that's a garbage truck. Excuse me. That's my misunderstanding. How many people get to choose? We're just flying out off the seat of our trousers here. We have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
How many people get to come in the ambulance with the victim or the
Oh,
victim,
God,
with
John.
the person with the inflicted?
With the patient?
With the afflicted. What is Dickens? The boy is good, but he has the gout.
Typically, it depends on the situation. Sometimes there's situations out of our control. If the person is an adult and there's minors around that the person is in charge of, they typically have to go if there's no place for them to go. If it's a minor, typically we need a parent to go with them or a guardian to go with them, someone over 18, or a representative from a school, say, would come with us.
Do you know how... Sorry, my brain is spinning to make a minor joke like a cave, and I just don't know what to do. So,
yeah, there's a lot going on.
They must leave a lot of ash
there are some times where I've actually told people they are not allowed to ride in the back of my ambulance.
I imagine that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
So they want in and you're like, no.
Yes. It's a dangerous situation. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of things that people don't need to see that go on also.
Right.
Yeah, because it's all tight in there. I mean, you have an audience for everything you're doing.
Yes, essentially. It's like being in a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Have you ever had somebody try to injure themselves so that they can come in the ambulance when you try to tell them no?
Yes.
That's a pretty smart person.
What?
That's a pretty smart
But
person.
Yeah,
you
we'll
can't
just
take more than one person in an ambulance, right?
Yes, you can actually.
can
The
make
ambulance can hold 4 4 patients and
At a given
myself.
time.
But
At a
only
given
one
time.
laying down.
Yes, only. Well, no, it could hold 2 laying down or 4 people.
What, 2 in a bed?
So no, it would be 1 person on the stretcher,
Yeah.
and 1 person could technically lay down on the bench that's alongside the stretcher.
Oh, right.
Or you could fit 3 people sitting up
Wow.
on that bench.
Interesting. That's probably got to come in handy when there's like major situations where there's a lot of people injured at the same time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but more than that, you typically get more than 1 ambulance responding to something.
Wow.
That's really interesting.
It's a hospital on wheels. I've been in the back of an ambulance once for work. I had to go with somebody who was having an issue. I thought it was so cool. I wanted to open every cabinet. I obviously didn't do any of this.
You should have asked. We'd let you.
Yeah.
You ever go in the back of an ambulance?
No, but I watch
It's a hospital.
wrestling, and there's a lot of ambulance matches where
Sure.
you have to put them in an ambulance and it drives away.
Sure, yeah. Andy, is your job like that?
Have you ever driven away a wrestler in an ambulance? Has anybody ever broke out of the back and had a mask on that was a different person?
A physical mask? No.
There you go.
No, not a physical mask.
What's like doing your job in a time of COVID?
Oh, that's been very tricky. A lot of PPE, which is personal protective equipment, a lot of PPE shortages. You kind of have to try and triage more than you usually do.
Then you
And-
take.
Yes, and try and explain to people why they don't need to go to the hospital for certain reasons.
Wow.
There's actually a big thing that goes on that nobody really knows about. It's like abuse of the 911 system or the emergency medical system. People will call an ambulance for things that you should be going to a doctor for. People just don't know really where to turn for things, so they just tend to go to the hospital. Like they'll go there for medication refills.
They'll call an ambulance to pick them up for medication?
Yes.
And will you have to take them?
Technically, according to the rules of being an EMT, which is in your certification tests, if someone requests to go to a hospital, you have to take them regardless if you feel they need to go or not. Now, unfortunately, what happened with COVID was we were trying to keep people out of the hospitals to stop everything from spreading. So if it was a situation where you may have needed a medication refill and you couldn't go to the hospital, we were telling people, hey, you might be better off going to your doctor or going to an urgent care for this. Or if you had a minor cut that could have been stitched up by an urgent care, we say, hey guys, look, we can bring you to the hospital. Here's what's going on in the hospital. It's your decision if you want to go to the hospital or if you feel like you're well enough to go to an urgent care and get stitched up or along those lines.
Wow.
That's really interesting.
But what would be the point of calling one just to get a medication refill? Because it's easier? Someone just drives me
A lot
there?
of people, some people don't have a doctor.
Okay,
Like they
sure.
don't have primary health care.
But that's a
So
problem.
they use the hospital as their primary health care.
They have to, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those bills have got to be crazy. I don't want to go to the doctor to get to go for my follow up because they're going to charge me $60 to go there. But to go to the hospital, it's got to be expensive. No,
But I guess if you're on like Medicare or Medicaid, then
I don't know how the billing works. That's not really my department.
Yeah. It's nice to know your services are so expensive.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
I'm sure you get all that money.
That's one thing we don't get is all the money.
it comes to you. I have a question. What's with the Jewish ambulances?
Hot Zola.
Do they have to heal differently? What's the different kind of meds?
No. They're just
They want to help them. They
I
want.
love how you called it the Jewish
Yes,
ambulance.
so what they are is
This
they're-
ambulance
so,
has a
okay.
faith. It's a car.
okay. So what they are is they are a volunteer ambulance corps.
Okay.
Okay, multiple there are a lot of places that have volunteer ambulances. A lot of cities in states operate only on volunteers. Now, Hatzolah volunteers take a little bit of an extra step to be culturally sensitive towards Hasidic Jews.
Sure.
Which is
okay.
what
Because
they
I guess they would need certain things. yeah.
exactly.
Do you know them?
I've known a couple of them. Yes.
They're cool.
Yeah.
Do they know as much as you if they're just volunteers?
Yes, they're equally trained to standards. So there's a standard. An EMT is a standard. You are trained to be an EMT. Above that, there's like a paramedic. Paramedics are trained differently as EMTs, but also in other techniques, procedures, and medication administration. So they're a higher level. And if you're trained as a paramedic, you're a paramedic.
I had no idea.
I always assumed paramedics was an EMT that could do it while falling from the sky,
Yes, of course.
like a paratrooper.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So a paramedic has more training.
Yes, paramedic has a lot more training, approximately like 9 more months of training.
Wow. Would you ever want to do it?
Yes, it's on the list of things to do.
Really?
Yeah.
So what? So you could administer medication and like start an IV in an ambulance,
Yes.
or you could do that now.
Okay, so different cities, different locations, different states have different rules as to what EMTs and paramedics could do. Where I work, I'm not allowed to start an IV. I'm not allowed to intubate patients, which is where you stick a tube down someone's throat so you can help them breathe. So yes, I mean there's a wide range. So certain places EMTs can do that. Where I work, you cannot do that. That being said, there's a wide range that paramedics can be doing outside of what just basic EMTs do.
Got it. But they ride in the ambulance. They're
Yes,
doing
they
the
have
same thing.
they have their own ambulance. They're doing the same thing. They're helping people.
So do they walk around like?
Yes.
Yeah. Of course they do.
So let me ask you a question. If I was to fall on the ground right now, God forbid, and you know for a fact I needed a tube to keep breathing, you're not able to put that tube in.
No.
You just got to stand there and watch me. Thanks, Andy.
No. Would you like me to get into what I can do for you though?
I mean, there's
Sure.
a lot.
I can call for paramedics.
So really, it's a crapshoot when an ambulance pulls up.
No.
You don't know as the victim, if you're getting like, if you're getting the top shelf or the well, and you don't know.
Okay, so how it goes?
The Grey Goose or what?
They do it by when you call and start the emergency response. There's a dispatcher on the line that will ask you a bunch of questions, and it's going to be very annoying to you because it's like, I need help, but they need to ask you these bunch of questions. Like, just get me help.
Right.
Answer the questions. They'll determine through the phone what level of care you need.
Got it.
If they're unsure, they will send an EMT, and when an EMT gets there, they can make the determination that you need a paramedic. And we'll call for paramedics, and they're usually not too far behind regardless.
No,
Got it.
At that point, I'm dead.
But no, John,
From a fall?
if you fell
Why
down,
do you have to be intubated from a fall?
You don't know where I
what did
landed.
you fall on? A
You
fence
don't know where
spike?
I landed.
John, I can honestly tell you that if you did fall and you were not breathing, I would coach Frankie into giving you mouth to mouth.
I would do it. It's just kissing.
He's been practicing.
I know. It's 30 compressions, 2 baby breaths.
There you go.
I'm certified.
that.
Well,
I
we
did that too.
we don't even do mouth to mouth anymore.
You don't.
No, that's disgusting.
You,
It is
do
really
you use the
disgusting.
little attachment piece?
No, we have you ever seen on TV the bag?
Oh yeah, sure.
We have a bag with a mask on it.
Perfect.
So it sounds like you don't really like the way that EMTs are portrayed on TV. Is that right?
Not true. There's some shows shows on TV that are very accurate, and
Scrubs.
some shows Scrubs. Well, Scrubs was in a hospital,
Right.
But
Right, well, hello.
and some shows that are ridiculous, like
Right.
anything else.
Like
Okay.
Law and Order.
Yes, like Law and Order. It portrays EMTs terribly.
Does it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh yeah, I hate Law and Order.
Do you
then.
wear windbreakers that say EMT
Right,
on it?
so people
That's
know.
big in the TVs.
A windbreaker. This is EMT.
That's
No,
big in
we
the
are
in the
given
TV
uniforms, and our uniforms typically have our certification on it.
Just
okay.
a side question off that. When you were young, did you wear windbreaker suits? And when you'd walk in the 30 class, your legs would go. Shoo, 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 shoo.
I liked the breakaway pants that you wear
Yeah.
shorts
Okay, yeah.
underneath,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all of a sudden, bam! I'm ready for gym class.
You're like Magic
Sick.
Mike in 2nd grade. I know.
So let me ask you, what made you, if you can remember, want to do this?
I needed a steady job.
Sure.
Passion for healthcare,
So-
as I expected.
So essentially, what happened was my mother is a trauma nurse, a retired trauma nurse. My stepfather is an EMT. And my mother had always said, you should go and you should become an EMT. You would love it. And I'm like, yeah, sure, Ma, no problem. She goes, you should be an EMT. You'll love it. Yeah, sure, Ma. No, yeah, I got it. No problem. She kept on, giving it to me. Yeah, sure, Ma, no problem. Well, I hit a point in my life where I was kind of underemployed at the moment and was looking to get married, start a family. And I was like, I kind of need something serious. And my mother was like, why don't you become an EMT? And I said, all right, let's do this. And I kind of just went with it.
And then you liked it.
Yeah, I do.
See, I think what's good about you is as knowing you have like a warped sense of humor. You're so funny. I feel like those things probably help you when you see terrible things.
Yes. Pretty much a job requirement is having a warped sense of humor, a distorted view of things.
Yep.
It does help you cope. I mean, it's hard. You see a lot of really tough things.
Sure, I imagine, yeah.
So it's hard, but, having a sense of humor, being able to laugh things off, regardless of what they are. Some people may be like, oh, that's cold, that's callous. How could you say that? How could you do that? unfortunately, it's a coping mechanism, and that's
Sure.
how you deal with things.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because, yeah, you have to be able to laugh at what you're seeing, or else you'll cry at it, right? Like, that's kind of the difference. And I mean, it had to have taken a lot of time for you to kind of learn to cope with it. Like, what were your first kind of experiences seeing terrible things like? You didn't know how to deal with it yet.
Yeah, and what was your first terrible thing you saw?
That's the loaded gun
So
question.
him and his
Frank.
wife-
That's the loaded.
Tough
That's
one,
the
yeah.
loaded gun
We should
question.
also
right
note
there.
that his wife sitting here, Nicola the hairdresser, from an
Right.
earlier episode. Very good.
Acknowledge that that's a hard question to answer.
Okay.
So, part one of the question was how long did it take to cope, or how long was it before you developed coping skills? I was a little bit older when I got into the game, so I was able to deal with a lot of things. I've lived through a lot of not really tragedies, but like big traumatic events. You know, I've lived through 9/11. I've lived through Superstorm Sandy. I lived through getting married. So you
He knows
learn
comedy comes in threes.
so you
It's
learn
natural.
you learn how to do things. So I kind of sort of always got it, and I kind of knew how it worked. Like I said, my mother was a trauma nurse, so I was kind of exposed to what went on. And my mother, great nurse, she's awesome, wasn't able to cope with it. She's probably going to be listening to this. She would take work with her home every day, and she would spend a lot of times crying. 'Cause
Like
she did a lot-
literally, John.
She
She'd
did
be like, everybody, this is Mike. And this guy was,
yes,
his shoulders shot off. He's sitting on your recliner.
yeah, pretty much.
No,
she,
that's got to be tough.
So it was tough seeing that and knowing that I didn't want to do that. So it's kind of kicked in pretty natural for me.
Yep.
And one of the hardest thing I've ever seen.
The first thing you saw that was
first
like,
thing that I saw that I kind of was just like, oh wow, awesome. But I kind of okay. So I kind of had the worst thing I saw when I first got on. I kind of had to breeze through because there was other stuff going on.
Yeah.
I was called to a car accident. There was a multiple car accident, and I was the first ambulance on scene. And me and my partner, we each grabbed bags and we split up because we see that there's more patients than there are us. Mm-hmm. So we have to go around to each individual complaining of something and see who's looking like the worst or in the worst shape or has the worst complaint, and then we start treating with them.
Sure.
I walked up to a gentleman who was sitting outside of his car, and his thumb was hanging on by a thread. His hand was outside the window of the car.
Sure.
And it got clipped, and it was hanging on by a thread. And I said, "Sir, is that the only thing wrong with you?" And he goes, "Yes, it hurts. My thumb is hanging off. What else do you want?" And I watched some guy, the next guy in the car over, slump over and pass out. So I said, "Sir, I'm sorry. Hold this on your thumb. Someone will be with you momentarily." And I yelled to my partner, I'm like, "I have an unconscious." So we went over and rendered care to the unconscious.
Was he okay?
Yeah, everyone turned out to be all right, But like I said earlier, when you are overwhelmed and you call for more resources, they come.
Right.
Like, so you will get more ambulances, you will get paramedics if you need them. So hey guys, we need help. We have more than two patients. Can we have backup? So they were there immediately, and nobody ever really left the site. Once we had the person that was in and out of consciousness in our ambulance, my partner went back and rendered care to the next, person, and while checking in on everyone else.
Why was that person passing out?
Don't know, head trauma maybe.
Just
I
overwhelmed.
Maybe, like I said, so how EMS works is I'm there on scene after it happens. I help you out while I'm there. I help you out en route to the hospital, and then you're somebody else's problem.
You pass them off.
Exactly.
Right.
One of my coping mechanisms is I don't like to find out what goes on with everybody.
Could you if you wanted to?
Yes.
That's good.
You can. And there was a very devastating something that had happened. It was a tragedy that happened where everyone that I worked with was heavily invested in this person pulling through, and they didn't make it. And I watched everyone in the station just shut down for weeks because they were so heavily invested in you put a lot of time and effort into saving someone's life, and it doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
how would you follow that up? You'd call the hospital?
well, we're in and out of the hospitals all day.
So you could always ask somebody,
hey, what happened to so and so? Hey, did anyone check in on so and so? Hey, where's that this guy? Hey, what went on with that guy? Yeah, you could totally find out. what goes on.
Wow, I never thought about that.
So I tend to distance myself once I hand you off. I did my job.
That's good. Wow.
That's really crazy. You don't think about that because you think that you get to spend so little time with them that you wouldn't necessarily get attached. But, I mean, I guess you could.
Sure.
You're spending the most important times with people.
Right.
Childbirth and death. It's like you're
right there.
You're right there.
That's how I feel about this show, though. I record it, then I don't listen to it. Someone else's problem now.
Right, I hand it off.
I just pass it off.
We record it.
You edit it, and I
hand it to me. But now, so you're always telling funny stories about stuff that you see that isn't necessarily devastating or heartbreaking.
Yes.
I hate to put you on the spot. You got to have at least one or two in the chamber of like ridiculous, you will not believe this happened kind of stuff. Oh, by the way, that I know that you like to leave things in the past or whatever, but I'm sure that when that guy can't open a doorknob because he's only got 4 fingers, he thinks of you.
He'll never hitchhike again on the right side of the road.
When he gets in, he's like, damn it, he's trying to turn his
Andy!
claw.
I'm not gonna lie. It looked like it was a pretty clean cut. They probably got it back together.
but didn't you not just want to grab and just pull it off, just finish the job?
No,
Here,
you
it's
can't do
off.
that.
Here, it's off.
You're not allowed to do things like that.
It's off. I thought it was best.
Here you go. Put it in your wallet. Keep it. For
Oh
luck.
God.
Um,
Anyway, what was this? What'd you say?
I wanted to know funny stories.
Oh yeah.
Funny stories.
Well, you don't got to waste them all. It's just, what do you got?
I give you some funny stories. No problem. So a gentleman called 911 for lower abdominal pain. Very common. People do it all the time. We get there. Sir, what seems to be the problem today? He goes, oh, well, I don't know. My stomach hurts. Okay, fine. Would you like to go to the hospital? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, no problem. One of the main things that we ask is let's, get your medical history. Let's find out what's going on here. Maybe there's an underlying condition. Maybe we, could do something for you here or on the way to the hospital. Mm-hmm. So he starts rattling off, the regulars. I got the sugars. I got the pressures. I got anything, epilepsy and a history of pancreas. And now I'm the kind of guy that my partners can't look in the eye when I work, and things like this happen. So I said, "Oh, do you mean pancreatic cancer?" "Oh, hell no! I just got pancreas."
Cool.
So I turn and look at my partner. I go, "Pancreas, write that down." And we proceed on taking this gentleman to the hospital.
He's got a history. The history of pancreas.
Poor guy.
We'd another time we'd gotten
Yeah, the history of pancreas.
That's it.
Is a good name.
That's
yeah.
it.
So let's see, another good funny PC story is we got called to an urgent care. Sometimes when urgent cares can't provide care in an urgent manner, they
As
call,
they should.
they
For
call,
it is their
they
title.
call EMS.
Yeah.
And we got there, and it was for a child. The kid had RSV, which is a respiratory infection, very common in young children and babies. It drops their O2 sat. They have very thick mucus in their lung. It's a tough virus. My daughter had it, right? Shay had it. So, no problem. So everything's fine. The baby's okay. I'm looking at the baby, no problem. The baby's all right. You always treat the patient. Patient looks good. Patient is good, right? It's okay. So calm the mom down because she's all nervous now that the ambulance is here to take the kid. Mom, does the baby have any medical problems? No, it doesn't have any medical problems. But he was born with a premature head.
Mm-hmm.
So, once again, I looked at my partner who was not prepared for my response. And it was something along the lines of, so, how long was the head out before the rest of them?
2 weeks.
Premature head.
Premature head sounds like a normal delivery to me. It's supposed to
How
come
was
out
the
first.
baby's head at this point? Normal size?
The baby's head was fine.
Good.
Hey.
Amazing.
That's funny.
Born with a... So,
Danielle loves
the
it.
baby was born with a premature head.
And a pancreas.
It was-
Poor thing. It's spreading.
I just want to know if you've ever delivered a child.
I did once, yes, and it was on a pile of trash.
Good.
Great. That's great.
It's great.
So you said you've delivered a baby on a pile of trash. My question that leads into is, when you go into people's houses, do you take note and or judge their houses when you're in there? Because I know I would note these houses all the time. Yes, Nicola wants to know the end.
I absolutely have to answer this. I've had him, since he's been on this job, turn to me viciously angry anytime I say, this house is filthy, with the pointed finger and says, you don't know what a filthy house is.
Yeah, well, you've seen the insides of a lot of houses. Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I aspire to, to
Right,
compare yourself
right.
to some of, you're going into people's environments and you never know. You never know what you're stepping into.
That's right.
Have you ever gotten design elements, like ideas from other people's houses, where you go home and
beautiful
you're like, oh wow, you know what they did? This was so cool. I mean, I guess you're not really doing your job if you're paying attention to the house and not the person.
Well,
Cabinets.
not true. Situational awareness is a thing. I go into a place and I look around and I see what's going on, look for entryways, exit ways. If there's, a guy sitting with a hood on, sharpening a knife, you always want to pay attention to things.
You never,
there's been crews that have been in jobs, animals are an issue. There's been crews where they've been on jobs and they gently go over the radio and ask for police because they're treating a patient and there's a gun on the floor next to the patient. So you always everybody's looking around and looking at your apartment. Yes.
Can you quietly ask for police?
Yeah, you could do it without. You could do it without. Yeah, you say, tell someone, oh, go and get me something from the bag in the other room. Go and get me something from the truck.
But you guys know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have a connection with your partner. You kind of know what's going on.
Right.
That being said, to circle back to what you said, is you see people's houses in a wide array of conditions. People don't plan emergencies.
Right. They don't clean up for you to get there.
Exactly. That's interesting. So sometimes you walk in a place and it's pristine and it's nice and you feel kind of guilty that you're walking through there with your boots on. Other times you walk into places and
you just want to step on everything.
You're doing 45 minutes of CPR in a pile of garbage.
Right. On a pile of garbage. Now, you mentioned entryways and exitways, which brings me into my next question. How do you stay professional when there's a lot of maybe unwanted... when you have to undress someone?
I am allowed to cut your clothes off.
That's right.
Okay, 100%.
My entryways and exitsways joke just went right over everybody's
Oh,
head.
that's what you were saying?
Was we talking about nudity?
Oh, I didn't
Come on, that was a good one. I had that one in the chamber for a while.
It was good.
Either way, go on. You can cut my clothes off.
Yeah, I'm allowed to cut your clothes off. It depends on the situation.
Well, why did you cut the guy's clothes off with the thumb?
Well,
the guy's thumb was falling off. I cut off his shorts. And
do you want the real answer to that? The real answer to that is that guy actually definitely got his clothes cut off.
You think so?
Okay, there's something called mechanism of injury.
Oh.
Okay,
Mechanism of injury.
Which is the term that we have as to what caused your injury. This guy was in a car accident that was strong enough to rip his thumb off. There's a chance there's problems somewhere else you don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So his clothes are coming off.
His clothes are coming off.
And you go full nudie?
Full nudie. In the we try to be as nice about it as possible. It's going to happen. If we can, we will do it in the back of our ambulance privately. We have sheets in there. We cover you up immediately, but we do have to do a full body scan.
Listen, when I get a massage, there's a lot of draping that happens.
There's some draping. It's usually kind of like cutting everything off, looking, and then just throwing a towel on top of you.
Just making sure nothing's happening.
Yes. A lot of things could happen with the genitalia in trauma.
What do you got?
There's something called priapism.
Priapism?
Priapism.
What does that mean?
It means a raging erection, essentially. When you have a spinal or a head injury, you will have a raging erection.
Oh, that's what it is.
Okay, and
what?
It is a telltale sign of a serious condition.
Wait,
Wow.
so what? A head injury or a spinal
head injury,
trauma?
a spinal trauma.
It makes you have a raging erection.
Yes, because nerves send weird signals to other places.
Interesting. But now, so what if
we're just
somebody...
leaving- we're leaving that behind?
I've seen that, by the way. I've seen it.
sure you have.
Priapism?
I've seen
So
it.
what if somebody tells you that they don't... If they say, no, I don't want you to cut my clothes off.
Why?
Right.
Maybe they're an abuse victim and they're hiding something.
Exactly. There's a lot of reasons. I mean,
That's a
typically...
very frank way of thinking.
I said it, I was like, why do they say that?
Typically, if you're in the situation where I need to cut your clothes off, you're willing to just
Yeah,
roll with
you don't
it.
care.
Yeah.
Like, you don't care. If there's significant evidence that I need to check the rest of you need to be checked. I also have a certain rule, which a lot of people don't follow, that if you call 911 for something, you need to show it to me.
That's good.
It's good until your partners yell at you because you've seen 3 wangs in a day. Okay, it's.
Sir, I broke my nose. Show it to me.
Well, I'm sorry. If it's important enough for you to call 911 for, you need to show it to me, and that's the rules.
Show me the boo-boo.
Show me the boo-boo.
You ever have any genitalia ish trauma right there? That's what you're looking for?
Very close. I've had bullet wounds to the upper thigh and the hip.
Wow, I had that in the game we were going to play. I'm going to pull that out. I swear to God, that was in the game. Okay.
Bullet wounds to the hip or thigh.
Yeah.
Genitalia trauma. No, testicular trauma. Yeah, sure.
Like what?
This bitch kicked me in the balls.
And you have to look at it?
Well, if it's important enough for you to call 911 for, it's important enough for you to show me.
And what do you say?
I say,
pretty bad.
well, it doesn't look like anything is missing. Here's an ice pack.
Oh, that's good.
Nice. He said, "Here's an ice pack for your nice pack."
Yeah. Yeah, and it works both ways. Like, I've had interesting encounters.
What do you mean?
with
You have to
the
show them
opposite-
something?
Yes. Yes. If I call
Here's
them
my
up,
Priapism.
if I call them up, I have to show them, right? I've had patients of the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. This one stands out. It was a 18, 19-year-old female who was pregnant to the point of giving birth any minute. And we got there, and she met me and my partner in the apartment, and she was wearing nothing but a towel. And she goes, "Oh, damn, I was hoping for a female."
Ah.
No problem. Would you like me to radio in and see if we can get a female here? I'm running through my head, seeing who's working. If I can give them a call on my personal phone, say, "Hey, can you come here?"
Because you know everybody who's out and
Yeah,
around.
you typically know who's working around you. So which goes, no, you guys will be fine. And she proceeded to push me into a bathroom and drop her towel.
Wait, what? Wait, what? For what?
Well, she said, "What can y'all do for this?" And she bends over and has hemorrhoids about the size of my fist.
No. Oh my God.
Now I'm looking right down Broadway of a woman who's like 9 months pregnant.
Like that kid's in school.
Yeah. So I told her, I go,
Oy.
"Dear, okay, I see why you would have wanted a female tech. Here's your towel. You can put your towel back on. I don't know what they could do for you." I go, "This far in the game.
It's from the pregnancy?
Obviously, this did not happen overnight." I go, "You've waited this long. You might just have to wait it out. But we could take you to the hospital and see what they have to say." All the while, my partner's banging on the bathroom door, screaming, "Andy, are you okay? Everything okay in there?" I'm like, "Dude, it's all good. Don't worry about it. We're all right. We're coming out now."
Wow.
So weird things happen everywhere.
So when you put her in, you laid her on the gurney, you should have laid her on her stomach? No, she couldn't. She was pregnant.
She laid on her side.
Lay on her side.
We're gonna play a game. We have 3 quick games to play.
We do. You want to start with a rating game?
Sure.
Get it out of the way because it's our weakest one? Fabulous. Okay. So we learned today what an EMT means because we're 8.
That's correct.
And we missed career day in school. So we'd like you to rate the following 3-letter things, and we'd like you to rate them in bathroom hemorrhoids. Bathroom hemorrhoids, priapisms,
No, rate them in. Let's rate them in broken bones.
broken bones.
Are broken bones good or bad?
10 broken bones is good.
Okay.
None are bad.
None is
Because then
bad.
you wouldn't have a job,
Right.
right? Okay. So rate the following 3-letter things. You can even talk about them a bit.
All right.
HBO.
6 broken bones.
Good.
We like HBO. Okay. What about you? Can take this one. You like this one.
LFO, as in New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick.
I want to rate them like 2 broken bones.
We don't like them.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
me
stop
neither.
it. That's
What
your
about-
toxic
I don't do
masculinity. There's nothing wrong with them. There's
from,
nothing
like-
wrong with them.
Or
It's
man bands. What are they now? They're man bands?
They were
band-
they were man bands then.
Yeah,
Band-Aids.
What about AAA?
Never know.
AAA baseball or
No.
Auto Club?
Well, either one.
Well, AAA baseball, I'm going to go like 7 broken bones. Those
We like
games
that.
are great.
Hey,
They're
I don't know
fun.
about sports. I wrote this, so it's the
I
car
love
one.
the Cyclones.
Okay. Cyclones are single A.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not even good enough to be AAA.
AAA Auto Club, amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. I'm going to say give them a fourth A and call them
you
an
do it, right?
amazing auto club.
You
of
have
America. I did. I lapsed.
Could you call them for the ambulance? It's any car you're in. They cover it. Any car you're in.
I don't know. That's a very good question.
It doesn't have to be your car.
I don't know.
What about DDT, like the wrestling move?
DDT.
Good. We like Jake the Snake Roberts.
Is
He
that what
likes
DDT is?
I don't know, 20 years
Oh, I
ago.
did DDT as the pesticide.
Oh no, DDT, the wrestling move.
I'm gonna
sure,
go with 10 broken bones.
We like that
A
one.
lot of broken bones.
A
With
lot
that
of
one.
broken bones there.
Okay. What about FJC?
What's that one?
Those are my initials.
I'm gonna
walked
go
right into
I'm gonna
that.
go even
Come on.
5.
Perfect. I'll take
broken
it.
bones.
I'll take it.
good.
Not too
Nice.
good, not
Easy.
too bad. That's what everybody says about me.
What about TDA? What's that one?
That's your tax deferred annuity.
Oh,
Yes, 10 broken bones. Big
you
fan
have
of
that?
those.
You work
we have we have really we have a lot of things to pay into for our retirement. So I'm all about it. 10 broken bones.
Good. I hope we get it all back. Good for you. Me? TWA.
what's that one?
The airline.
You know what?
Oh, the
I'm
airline?
gonna go 6 broken bones. That TWA hotel is pretty cool.
Oh, it is cool. Yeah.
You should give it 100,000 broken bones because TWA caused a lot of those. Okay, going on.
Cool. What about CBS? Watch what you say. We like CBS.
We like CBS.
9 broken
9
bones.
broken bones. That's good. That's good.
UFO, but the pants.
10 broken bones.
Oh,
only,
UFO pants,
Only
huh?
if I could rock my soaps.
Yeah, definitely.
You remember soaps?
Yeah, of course. What about MLB?
We'll give them 9 broken bones.
Okay. Frank, you want to give this next
I
one?
do. What about CCD?
What does that stand for?
Catholic catechumen.
Catechumen?
Yeah, you're a
is the
catechumen.
word
That
you
means
said?
you're learning to. Yeah, it's got, I think, Catholic catechumen.
Catholic cut your cuticles.
Catholic cuticles.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
I'm gonna
Catholic
go
cuticle
5
dinosaurs.
broken bones. I'm only half Catholic. So.
Okay, that's
CCD
fine.
stands for Catholic cuticle dinosaurs.
I remember. I have a confession to make. What is it?
Confraternity Christian Doctrine.
Oh, I was way wrong.
Wow, you guys are off. How do you guys feel about CCD?
I'm going to say
know.
this. When I was in CCD, which is Wednesdays at 4 o'clock, never forgot it, in the rectory in the basement, we had a woman named Sue who taught us, who was like older than the rectory that she was in, right? And we all sat there, and I felt really bad because we always made fun of this girl, Mary, because she couldn't tell time. Swear to God, true story. Okay. She was there. She didn't know how to read the clock.
I remember having to try to memorize the Nicene Creed in my head over
Go for
and
it.
over again. No, I can't. All I remember was once we get to Catholic and Apostolic Church, we're almost at the end.
Once they were like, all right, Frankie, right, little, your turn to say the Hail Mary. And I was like, I got this in the bag. Is Hail Mary full of grace? I totally blanked. I'll never forget it. Blanked.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's
Where
your
was she
favorite
to help me?
prayer? What's your favorite prayer?
Was my favorite prayer? I don't really rattle them off.
What's
that
the really
much.
short one? I like that one.
Oh.
Glory
Glory be to
be.
the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Glory be to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. With the beginning, and should be world ends. Amen.
Amen.
Is that
That's
right?
It. It's like 2 lines. Andy,
No,
what's
there's a shorter one.
What's your favorite prayer? Hashem? What's
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I have to be the Kaddish. You
You
know,
do the
gotta represent
Kaddish?
for the fallen soldiers, the
do you
fallen
have,
family.
Do you have a mezuzah? Okay. Why
No,
are we
we
just
don't.
asking about Jewish things?
we
Last
don't.
one.
Okay.
Can we say it together?
Yeah. Last one, and this is the most important one. Andy, how many broken bones do you give?
DTF.
Are you DTF?
Not since I've been married.
And there it is, the rating game.
Rating game. I like that.
Good.
So let me ask you a question. What are your feelings when you go to pick up somebody in an ambulance and all the neighbors are out there in their towels watching? Do you ever feel like you want to wave at them?
Sometimes we do.
Yeah.
It depends.
They're always out there. What's that? An ambulance? The lights?
Yeah, well, sometimes neighbors can be a helpful resource.
Sure.
Really?
Hi, has so-and-so been falling a lot lately? There's been ambulances a lot on the block lately. There's been, oh, her health has been declining. Oh, no, she's usually fine. You got to assume that I'm meeting you for the first time when you need me. So if somebody who knows you is there to kind of tell me, no, that's not like this person,
It's good to know.
it's good to know.
You must make them feel like a real celebrity, because then for the next week when they're telling the story about the person in their block who had to go in the ambulance, they were like, yeah, and then the EMT came and he asked me and he was like, do you know him? And I was like, yeah, I mean, he kind of, sometimes he falls. You're part of, they are now part of that story. They're telling it for a week.
Don't get me wrong. There are times where I look at people and tell them to get the fuck out of my way.
Well,
Get out of
yeah,
my face.
yeah.
Get off the block. This has nothing to do with you.
Get off the block.
Yeah,
Get off
get
the
off the
block.
block.
This guy.
Yeah.
Wow. We
Yeah,
run this
always.
block.
Sometimes it's give and take. It's give and take.
Right. Okay.
What happens if the ambulance breaks down?
Yo.
It happens quite often. The ambulances run 24 hours a day, 365
Man,
days a year.
imagine that person is like, my thumb fell off, then they cut off my clothes in the middle of the street, and then the ambulance broke down.
I have a better question.
It's obviously a bigger problem if there's a patient in the back.
Right, sure,
Right.
that's what he means.
Yeah, hello, yeah,
but
but
if
if
there's-
you two.
I mean, if there's no patient in the back, we hang out until usually like the company's
You just shut off
service.
the meter like a cab.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
out of service.
Out of
Could you
service.
imagine, God forbid, I'm knocking on the table, if an ambulance with a patient got in an accident and then it was like Russian nesting dolls and then another bigger one had to come?
They can't find out where your afflictions begin and the new ones end.
So I've been in ambulances that have been in accidents with patients in the back.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It happens. It's you're on the road. I mean, it's not necessarily.
They just back the,
ambulances-
two ambulances up
yeah.
and slide them into the
Well,
other
sometimes ambulances crash into other ambulances too. It's like Mad Max out there sometimes.
one. Oh, my
What happens if I don't move out of the lane when you're on the highway?
Oh, yeah?
If I just don't move. You've got your thing going, you're blaring, and I don't move. Are you allowed to just ram me until I'm out of the way?
No, I'm not. You're just an asshole.
What?
Yeah.
You gotta be able to just
Nope.
like push me right off the road.
Nope.
Wow. That's bad.
I would love to be able to get underneath you, get under the wheels, get the wheels free.
Yeah.
Put you into the wall. It doesn't. You can't do it.
Whenever you're in your everybody here, whenever you're in your car and you're on the highway and an ambulance is coming or a fire truck and you're trying to get over because you hear it, but the other person doesn't let you in, you always say, "Come on, come on."
It's an ambulance.
So Andy, you make everybody say that all the
Yeah,
time.
well, here's the thing. A lot of the time, people don't know how to drive when they hear lights and sirens. They forget how to drive. They immediately think they're getting pulled over, so they slam on their brakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the wrong
That's
light
wrong.
siren.
That's the wrong.
So we
thing.
should have more specific siren sounds. It should be like ambulance, ambulance.
That's the one,
It
right.
says it.
I'll tell you what, one of the most dangerous things you could do is driving your ambulance with lights and sirens on. It's the most dangerous thing you could do.
Because all the morons.
Because
come
all the
out.
morons, but not just that though. People who aren't seasoned on the job, people who that you get like tunnel vision, you get like adrenaline, it like jacks you up. It's like and you're next
Oh,
thing
when you're driving the ambulance.
yeah, you end up making sometimes bad decisions with your driving, as well as people not really knowing how to drive around emergency vehicles. It's very, very dangerous.
What's the fastest you ever driven in an ambulance? Because there's no speed limit for you.
There is a speed limit.
Oh.
We technically, if I'm in my ambulance and I get a speeding ticket, I have to pay it.
Does that happen?
Yes.
What?
No.
kind of cop?
Camera tickets.
Oh, I was gonna say, what kind of cop is
You
like,
can't
"Excuse
say,
me,
hey, there's
sir."
someone in the back dying.
Well, there's if that's the case, then yes. But if I'm not in emergency mode,
How would they know
they run the times and they'll look if it corresponds with
when you picked
with
up?
a job or not.
Imagine that's your job. We
What?
got to get that guy on the podcast. Just yell at him. You
What are
comparing
you
you're
doing?
comparing times between time of death and when they ran
Imagine.
the light.
So, I mean, I tend to err on the side of caution when I drive. There's very few calls that come in that I will go balls to the wall for. Because I'm no good to help somebody if I don't make it there.
Right.
Well, no, I mean when you have them in the back already.
Even at that, you got to remember though, if somebody's in the back, somebody's working on them, somebody's trying to help them.
Right, so
Somebody's
they're
hurt.
good.
Somebody's hurt. So there's a very thin line between driving to a hospital like a madman and hitting every bump that's on the road because you know they're there, or going fast but smooth. So there's a very fine line, especially if it's someone who's critical, because there's also partners of yours, there's coworkers of yours in the back treating a patient.
You don't want to throw them around.
There's needles.
That's what I was gonna say,
There's
sure. Imagine-
wires. There's cords. There's there's a lot going on. So I tend to try and go a little bit slower, a little bit gentler. Unless somebody says, "Yo, move faster."
How do they talk to you in the front?
There's a window.
Oh, that makes sense. It's great.
That's good. Old fashioned.
An old window.
They got to have a pretty steady.
It's like an old
hand.
Italian grandma just leans on the
Right,
window,
just
yells
leans
at
on the
you.
window.
Andy, a drive.
You have to have a pretty steady hand, though. I imagine. When
yeah.
you're back there doing stuff,
Yeah. A
you
lot
just
of it.
end up tripping pills up in the air.
You think any EMT worker ever got nauseous back there and then threw up on the patient?
I don't know about throw up, but yeah, you definitely do get a little bit of motion sickness back there, for sure.
Wow, that's quite a story you're writing there about throwing up on a patient while
you
they're
imagine?
dying in the back of
I'm
an
sure
ambulance.
it's happened.
Once.
How'd it happen?
Yeah, I mean, not
the
that
thumb guy.
not that I know of.
Yeah,
It
poor
might have been
guy.
that poor unlucky guy.
He got thrown up on
No
that guy
pants.
for sure.
Yeah.
No pants, ass naked, thrown up on him. But now, this brings me to another question of what would you do, which brings us to our next game, which is what would you do in this circumstance?
Okay.
But you only have 6 seconds to answer each one.
Can every answer be called for medics?
No, it may not.
Okay. No, it may
really
not.
do your best. It's 6 seconds. You want to get a timer on yours?
No, well,
Okay, we'll just count to 6.
Okay.
Okay, so you're the EMT. You arrive on the scene. You have 6 seconds to answer this. What do you do if the person has a concussion?
Oxygen, rapid transport to the nearest hospital.
cool,
Gorgeous.
What about fork in the eye?
Stabilize the fork with usually a cup, tape it in place, transport to the hospital.
Oh,
Cool,
that's good.
cool.
Okay. Deli slicer accident.
Pressure dressing, package, go to the hospital.
Packaged meats? Deli slicer.
Stabilize it. Get a package of super sod.
It's type of bandage. You pressure dressing. When you package someone, you typically splint a limb in place and secure the limb to somebody, and then you transport. So that's what I meant by package and transport.
Asthma and/or panic attack. Not sure.
Listen to lung sounds so I can verify if it's an asthma attack or not. If it's asthma, give them albuterol and transport to the hospital. If it's a panic attack, allow them to breathe oxygen and transport to the hospital.
Good.
Love
I'm
it.
in your overtime, so you probably don't do that one well. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Frank.
Swallowed a Barbie doll head.
Is it occluding an airway or is it went all the way into the stomach?
It's in an airway with hair.
If it's in an airway with hair, Heimlich maneuver to try and free the airway.
Okay. What about things lodged in an anus?
Yes, that happens.
Okay, so what have you seen in an anus? Stop the clock for a second.
Stop the clock. Give them 10 minutes for this one.
Yeah. The standard. You've seen people that lose their sex toys up there.
Sure. Sure.
That's pretty common.
Sure.
Bottle caps.
You don't try to get it out.
No.
Bottle caps.
Bottle caps.
But what do you do
Were
with
they
your
trying to open it?
No.
But his old adage, if I don't see it.
Right.
They were trying to use it for sexual stimulation, and the bottle cap came off.
Oh, definitely open and empty it first.
Yeah. Well, pickle jar lids.
Wait. Just use the pickle.
Pickle jar
Yes.
lid.
That's a
Yes.
wide mouth.
Yes, it
pickle
is.
Jar lid.
And a remote control.
Oh, was the Roku or like a regular television?
No, it was like regular television.
Wow, like an Apple TV remote I could see.
Apple TV easy.
Small.
Go
I
with
think
that.
it was a Sony.
Oh, wow.
At least Sony
Sony's
guts.
a big one.
Sony guts.
Sony guts at least.
Are they embarrassed about this?
Some people are. Some people aren't.
I want you to live with this information that I heard the other day, and I don't have the numbers exactly, but I read that the human anus is capable of stretching to a certain width.
Yeah, 4.5 inches approximately.
Yeah, and there are many animals, including squirrels and most raccoons, that are smaller than that width.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just,
And Richard Gere is a great
just
American
letting you know,
actor.
just letting you know, they could fit if you wanted a raccoon.
Yeah.
you
to
fit
fit
two of
up
them in there.
there.
You fit
Yeah.
2 raccoons in there.
Say it again. Richard Gere, great American actor. All right. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. In the 90s. Okay. Broken ribs.
Hug a pillow, transport to the hospital.
Hug a pillow.
Oh, what if
that
no
sounds
pillow?
so
Hug you?
comfortable.
We have pillows in the ambulance. We have sheets. We have blankets. We have towels.
Excuse me.
Hug
Best
something
Western.
salt.
Okay.
That sounds really comfortable. Okay, what about organs outside of the body?
Ooh, okay. You're gonna put a wet layer of gauze on top of it, and then a dry layer of gauze, and then you're gonna put a plastic wrap over it and transport.
Interesting.
A
And you
lot
make
of
them,
this-
and they have to carry
Okay.
it like this?
Well, no, you're laying. It's probably laying on top.
John
of you.
did a scooping
So-
up motion like he was holding
So
groceries.
we're not
what I'm
allowed
thinking.
to stuff them back in.
Okay.
And if you think about it, what exactly I said is it simulates everything else. You put a wet layer of gauze to keep everything moist. You put a dry layer of gauze and a plastic layer over it to simulate skin.
Have you seen it?
Not as much as you would think.
Okay.
Little bit from a stab wound, but not complete.
Not like
evisceration.
you're holding.
It's called an evisceration.
Oh
It is
wow!
such
And-
a good word.
Yeah, eviscerated. Yeah.
I have a question. Pause the game. As an EMT, has it given you a respect for the sanctity of human life, or do you see everyone like, well, you're just a bag of guts and blood?
You're stopping the game to ask this
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
This is a very heavy.
I know,
question.
but I want to
It
know
is.
that. And when you said everything's spilling out, it made me think of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Oh, Aladdin style. I like it.
Mm.
Okay.
When I watch Final Destination, That movie's not scary to me. What's scary is just its depiction of how humans are just like
Frail.
ticking clocks of meat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy that. Listen, you'll soon be at your destination.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Frank.
Okay. Just grab the hot pan on the stove.
I come very close every time I cook.
Stop the burn. Keep it cool. Wrap it up. Transport.
Cool. This is a tough one. Dead.
How dead?
Pretty dead.
What time is it?
There you go. Okay.
You have to file that.
All the paperwork that I do is legal paperwork. If you are deceased and you are like obviously deceased, you still need to call us so that we could officially give a time of death for the police report, regardless of what your actual time of death would have been in an autopsy.
It's the time of death you define them.
Yes, yeah, we have to give an official time of death.
Interesting.
High bounce ball in stomach. The small ones that are like.
Swallowed it.
I don't know how else to get there.
Got all the way in there though.
Yeah, swallowed it.
If you're breathing and you're fine, we could transport you to the hospital.
Do you have to
There's
have
nothing
it
to do with that.
pumped out, or you just wait for it to come out the other end?
I don't know. It depends on the size of the ball.
less than 4.5
what
inches.
it's made of. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's beyond my pay grade.
All right, last one. Chronic pancreas. What do you do? What do you do when you show up and the guy says chronic pancreas?
You just document it correctly in transport.
Yeah, well, he's got a history of pancreas, that guy. I know that guy.
So it's chronic.
Last one. What do you do? Thumb falling while hanging by a string.
Look around to see if there's anyone worse off.
Undress him first.
Yeah. Get him naked.
Why are you cutting my pants off?
I'm sorry. Like that's what happens is you do something stupid. I get to see you naked. It's
But
like
those
my prize.
scissors-
It's like my fucking prize.
Those scissors are strong.
Yeah, they actually really are strong, but they're not that like sharp. Really, like you're not gonna rub your finger on them and cut them. It's just the way they work as scissors. They're very strong.
Okay, got it.
Has anybody ever gotten mad at you for cutting designer clothes?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have a great story for that actually.
Oh?
I was called to a car accident on a local highway, and this gentleman was complaining how it was a very minor car accident. Like there was not that much damage, but this gentleman was complaining he couldn't move. So we had placed a C collar on his neck, to stabilize his C spine, and we extricated him from the car and placed him on a backboard, and we strapped him to the backboard. And he was complaining he was in a lot of pain. It's coming from more than one location. Sir, you're gonna have to take your jacket off so we can evaluate. I told you I can't move. Sir, you have a very nice jacket on. We're gonna need you to take your jacket off, so I could further examine you. He goes, motherfucker, I told you I'm hurting everywhere. I can't move. Okay. Pulled out my scissors and got 3/4 of the sleeve of his beautiful leather jacket, and all of a sudden he could move. And he flipped out,
Right.
and he ripped the collar off his neck and pulled himself off the backboard, and the police actually arrested him for being violent with us, and they placed him in handcuffs. They wanted to know if we wanted to press any charges. We did not. He was like,
Wow.
forget you guys, I'm gonna go to the hospital myself. And they hopped in the car and they drove away.
But could you imagine someone's there to help you and save your life, and you call him a mother?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
It happens more often than you'd think.
But the moral of the story is he was just trying to get insurance money and said he was not feeling good.
I assume so. All I know is he
Well, you
was
healed him.
cured. He was cured
And
by
you're
the
not a
power of my
paramedic. You
sci-
shouldn't be doing that.
He was cured by the power of my scissors on his jacket.
That's fair.
What is if you have to cut pants off or a jacket, where do you cut? Like, what's the fastest way to cut through to get it off? Like, if a jacket's
just-
zipped up, you got to go across where?
So here's the thing, though. You don't ever want to be the guy that cuts a down jacket.
Because it's going to go everywhere.
Yeah. Yes. There's ways to cut a down jacket. Usually the rookies are the guys that end up having to cut them and then clean it.
What do you got to do? Just down near the zipper?
Yeah, usually, and there's usually one seam underneath that's okay to cut. Where do you start? You start usually from the cuffs of the pants and work your way up, and you go right through the belt on the left side. Do the same thing on the right side, and
You
it's
just
open.
peel the front away.
And it's open.
Wow.
And then
And you're
you-
laying in the back
and then-
of your outfit, though.
And then usually shirt, yeah. And then
Great.
shirts, you
Peel.
pretty much go right from the from the bottom of the shirt by the navel, right up the collar, and down each sleeve, and you're completely exposed.
Wow.
It takes seconds. It's
amazing.
It's done in seconds.
It's amazing.
I wish you had the scissors. I'd let you take my shirt off. Just try it.
I have a pair. So
do you really?
Yeah,
Do you have a spare
probably.
shirt?
It's my house. I
I
also
wouldn't
think
fit
you'd
in.
be swimming in any of my
I'm
clothes.
swimming in clothes. Nicole, you get a shirt? All right.
So let me ask
I
you a
got Shay's
question.
clothes upstairs.
Let me ask you a question without going into any sort of detail. How long is the training process for something like this? How long do you have to be in training to become an EMT?
I don't quite,
Generally.
Yeah, I don't quite remember the hours, like the actual hours of it. I do know that if you go 3 nights a week, it's approximately 3.5 to 4 months. If you go like 4 hours a night, 3 nights a week.
But it sounds like you do a lot of doctoring, and doctors are in school for 6 years.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's just so many topics that we have to learn.
Right.
That we just learn it sounds bad. You learn a little bit of everything, I guess.
Right.
And you pick up a lot of it's hands-on.
Right.
Like I am as good as I am because of who I've worked with.
And worked on.
Sure, but who I've worked with,
sure.
you absorb knowledge. You
Right.
learn.
Absolutely.
If you are not learning something from a day on my job, you must have been sleeping all day.
Right.
There you go.
But I think you would admit this as well. Like, there was a difference between you guys and a doctor in that, like, a doctor knows prescription-wise, like, the toxicology and stuff
Yes.
of what it, right,
Yeah,
which is
of course.
you guys aren't particularly privy
No.
to.
Paramedics, on the other hand, they deal
They
with
do.
quite a bit of that, but
Right.
we do not as EMTs.
Interesting. But it's amazing to me that, like, in 4 months of schooling, you learn the skills to do a lot of what a doctor does.
Right.
You learn, in this conversation alone, you've talked about doctoring, driving, tailoring. You know a lot of there's many different people skills. There's a lot of
everything.
different things that go into this. There's like
Yeah.
various factors of things you need to know.
Yeah, there's not just one. We don't do just one thing. We're people. Recently, this was during the pandemic, going into the things of what you do in a daily day. I received a call for a man who needed help, and that's all it came over as. A man, 80s, it needs help. Okay. So we go there, and this was during the COVID pandemic, so you never know what you're walking into, especially when something like that comes across. So I get there and, knock on the door, and it's really no answer. Next step is turn the doorknob. Turn the doorknob, door opens. Hello, hello, hello. He says, I'm in the bedroom. Hi, sir, what's going on? He goes, I need help. Okay, sir, what do you need now? I walked in his apartment, and it's clean, neat, tidy. Noticed some military stuff on the wall. Noticed that he had a high award that he received from the Korean War was mounted, and seen a couple of pictures from young family on the walls. Like, because you really do gotta just see what you're walking into. It's things that you notice. So I walk into the room, and he's on his bed, and he's like, I need help. Sir, what do you need? He goes, well, I don't have anyone to help me here today. He goes, my nephew got this COVID, and he usually comes and helps me, and I don't have anyone today to help me.
No.
Now, I look at this guy, and I see Korean War vet. My uncle was in the Korean War, so this could be my uncle, right? No problem, sir. What could we do? Now, I was working with a partner who wasn't really feeling like what I was doing, but that's neither here nor there. Different strokes for different folks. Everybody works differently. What can I help you with, sir? What do you need? He goes, well, I need help getting into my living room. I can't get my pill bottles open, and I'm really hungry. I walked him to his dining room table, sat him down, opened up all his pills, put his pills out for him for the day, and then I went and I cooked him some food, whatever he had in the fridge. He said, what would you like?
Make, Andy?
Well, I can tell you, he had some frozen waffles. He had frozen waffles. I put them in the toaster oven for him. He wanted a big cup of juice out and a big cup of water out, and some whatever little, a couple of cakes or whatever he had in his fridge or his cabinet, and I set it all out for him. And he, thank you. Have a great day, sir. I hope everything.
Would a doctor do
good.
that, John?
See, that's above and beyond, though.
But that goes along with the whole. What do we even do as a job? What is my job?
You're a professional helper.
I'm a lot of things.
So how do you call that back in, though?
It just gets.
Did you have to hide it a little bit, or no?
Not really. No, I mean. We could just say that the gentleman didn't want to go to the hospital. People call 911 all the time and they don't want to go to the hospital. They do an RMA, refuse medical assistance. You can call can you take my blood pressure? Can you check my blood sugar? Can you do this? Can you can you open this jar of peanut butter? Like, people who do call 911. I used to train. It's funny. I used to train people. Okay, before I went to the overnights, I used to train people. And the first thing I would tell them when they got on the job was, everyone who calls 911 is having an emergency. It may not be what you define as an emergency, but at that moment, they are having an emergency. So walk into them, help them however they need to be helped to get them out of their emergency. And if you think it's a joke, bite your tongue until they're out of your ambulance. And then you could say, yo, that was a joke.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
They need help.
That's right.
So we set the guy up with his pills, made sure he had enough to drink, made sure he had something to eat. Have a good day, sir. If you need any more help, please call 911 again. Yeah. I will go to that guy's house every day.
Is that the old man who's living upstairs now?
No, it is not.
That's what I got before.
That's cool. I like that story.
But so the day we're recording this today is September 11th.
Yeah.
I don't need to say anything more about why that's relevant, but it is. And the word that gets thrown around on 9/11 a lot, and I don't say thrown around in that it's undeserved, it's just a word you hear a lot, is hero. That's a word that everybody talks about. But whether it be firemen, policemen, EMS, people who would, civilians driving the boats, things like that, are you a hero?
A hero's a sandwich, John.
Yeah. But so you don't, but
You gotta feel like it.
Sometimes. I can honestly tell you sometimes. And sometimes you don't.
Would you feel like a hero more if this is a true thing? If you help the guy with the thumb or this old man in the apartment? You must have left the old man's apartment like fired up.
Well, I'm definitely somebody's hero. I can put it that way.
Ah, there it is.
I sometimes you feel like you did good. Sometimes you feel like that you made a difference. And other times you don't. It's just, part of the game.
Right. I want to ask Nicola, would you constitute Andy as a hero?
Yeah, I would. Absolutely, I would. Absolutely. I have had just myself out and about in public, in stores, and I've been stopped. Oh, I've had people most recently say, oh, your husband was on a job and he helped my granddaughter, and I kind of shrug my shoulders, and he doesn't really come home and talk about it all. He's not really, sort of, not even allowed to. I'm good. I'm glad he was there to help you. Oh, he was so good. He was so kind to us. So when people go out of their way to stop me to compliment him, he was a hero to that person, and he is. Absolutely. Yeah, you do something he does something not a lot of people could do. Truly.
Right.
It's not for the faint of heart, that job.
Would you say people stop you sometimes who have had you before, right? And say like, oh yeah, you helped me or whatever?
Yeah. I got a pretty funny story about that, actually. I was in a rough neighborhood, and it's just a very chronic location for violence and just danger. So we had a patient. We loaded the patient in the ambulance, and then I was walking around because I was driving that day, and I seen a very big guy yelling at me, "Hey yo, you, hey you, hey you," and I'm like, "Oh dear, let me get in my truck." So my first instinct was, let me make sure I'm safe before I figure out what's going on. I got in my truck, locked my doors, banging on my window, "Hey you, open up! Hey you, open up!" And I kind of do like a little crack the window on the other side. "Hey man, what's going on? What do you need?" He goes, "Hey you, you're the guy." Like, I'm sorry, I don't think I am. He goes, no, you're the guy. You saved me. I was shot on this corner 4 years ago.
Oh.
I was shot Thank you, brother. You'll always be safe here. And then he walked away.
Wow.
So that you have a lasting impression.
Did you remember him or no? No.
He sees people every day.
Every day.
How many people do you think you see a day?
It varies. We'll get anywhere between 4 to 8 or 9 jobs on a normal day.
Wow.
So, but like I said, I did help the guy. There's also people out there that are like, I know you, and are not happy about it. So it's it just happens.
I think you are, but that's just me.
Sure.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Well, I didn't agree, but John, that's a nice sentiment.
Thank you.
I do agree. I do agree. For the record, no, I think people are heroes who put other people in front of them. They put people before them.
Of course.
They sacrifice something
your
for
job
them.
doesn't have to be to save people's lives. My job isn't to save people's lives. So like just that alone. This show, we always say, is about nobody. And like you are the farthest thing from a nobody. Even if people don't know who you are, it's like you do something that people rely on every day. You save people's lives or attempt to save people's lives, even if you fail.
Right.
Like that's the biggest something of all things.
Yeah. And I feel like knowing him, he's such like, I would be so happy if he showed up. Like, what the fuck are we going to do if we show up come out of the ambulance? I'd be like, oh.
I would rely on Andy to do anything.
Yeah,
that being
absolutely.
said, what was it like moving Danielle and I into our apartment?
The best part about it was tying up Joe in the back of the
tying
U-Haul.
up Joe and putting him in the back of the seat. See? You were so used to putting people in the backs of trucks
There you go.
that you put them in the U-Haul.
But he's a smooth driver.
That's it. All right, so we're going to play our last game. We'll end off on that.
Okay.
This is an improv game.
We have not done an improv game since season 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you just have to be you. You're just Andy.
I will try.
You're Andy on call.
And as expected, it's an improv game. We have not planned any of this.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a cash prize. Okay.
So I
sounds
think
good.
what we should do is Frank should be a person with a to be determined ailment.
Great. I should think of that though, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I will be the person calling 911.
Okay.
And then you will have arrived at the house.
Okay, just so you know, sometimes I don't deal with the person who calls 911 ever.
No, but I'm the other person in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the other
We're
person.
together.
I'm
We're
the
friends. We're
other
roommates.
person in the house.
You guys are together?
No roommates.
Well, our relationship is
It shouldn't matter to
yet
you
to be
as a
determined.
professional.
It's
Okay.
yet to be determined.
All right, ready.
Okay,
This
ready?
is from the call?
Yeah.
sorry.
No. So I'll no.
So would you like me to knock on your door?
Danielle will be dispatched.
Would you like me to knock on your door?
Yeah. Well, so
Okay.
Danielle. Will,
I got it. I'll start saying, oh my God, something's wrong.
Right.
You call it
I'll
in.
call Danielle.
Danielle's
Will be
dispatch.
dispatched.
And Nicola, your sound effects.
No, Nicole. Yeah, you could be sound effects, or you could be Andy's partner. Either way.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Oh, the soup is so hot.
No, it's not what I was going to do at all. Okay, I guess I'm changing everything now.
No. Well, we're just having
Yeah,
conversation. We're in the house.
This,
We're just in the house.
this
Just thinking out loud. I thought we were sitting just like eating.
You're right. This soup is so hot. Well, it's time for me to practice my contortions for our a road show. You know.
Sure, of course.
Oh, what'd you put in the soup today? It's really good.
There's some cream of broccoli. What?
Oh,
What?
I'm stuck.
What do you mean you're stuck?
I was doing the pretzel trick and my head's stuck up by my ass and my legs are stuck around my neck and my arms are twisted around and they're stuck between my. I'm stuck.
Oh my God, he's stuck at
Just
the
you. Can you help me?
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta call 911. I can't.
No,
do
I
this.
can you. Yeah, I'm really stuck.
can't get you- no,
my
I have-
body's seizing up.
I
Wait,
have-
what was in the soup?
Broccoli with a P.
Oh wait.
You were allergic to broccoli.
No, I'm allergic to broccoli. I thought you said this was broccoli.
No, it was broccoli with a P.
I'm definitely allergic to this.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
All right, I
Call 911.
I don't have the EpiPen.
I'm
I'm
stuck
gonna call
and
911.
I'm allergic to broccoli.
Okay, here we go. Pop, 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 pop. Ring,
Okay.
ring.
Hello?
No, you stop.
I don't know.
Hello.
Wrong number, John. It's 911.
Do it. I don't want to do it.
She
I
gives
don't want the hard
She
job.
quit dispatch. That is the hard job. Sorry.
Go ahead. Call. Ring. The answer.
It doesn't answer on the first ring.
Ring, ring.
911, what's your emergency?
My indeterminate friend here is tied up in a pretzel. He was eating the broccoli or broccoli. I don't know what was in the
Sorry,
soup.
you're going to have to speak more
And
clearly.
he was like, just send an ambulance, please.
Okay, sir, where are you located?
That's none of your
Ask for a
business.
paramedic. They're better.
Send the ambulance.
Ask
It's
for a-
Sir, I need your address.
it's
It's anaphylactic.
123 Anaphylactic Street.
Very good. Okay, stay calm and ambulance is on the way.
Okay, thank you.
Oh man, they got here so fast.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, EMS.
Oh, come on in.
Hi, what seems to be the reason you called us today?
Well, my friend here is tied up, as you can see, in a pretzel ball on the floor.
Okay, hi, sir. Why is he breathing like that?
Well, my understanding is that he was allergic to whatever vegetable was in the soup, and then he started doing his contortions, and then he got inflamed while he was contorting, and he can't uncontort.
All right, sir, you having any trouble breathing?
It looks like so, yeah.
Yeah, listen to your lung sounds. It's wheezing. And you're obviously having an anaphylactic shock.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you epinephrine,
Okay.
an EpiPen.
I'm allergic to.
He's allergic to epinephrine. Do you have any broccoli?
Is
Epinephrine.
he allergic to elephants? I can't quite hear him.
Yeah, I don't know what he is. Just give him the shot.
All
He's
right,
fine.
so you give him the epinephrine, and then
Okay.
I have to call paramedics because I administered a
Oh,
medication.
Can we
good.
get him
Okay,
in
because the epinephrine can and will wear off.
Do we have to take him into the ambulance?
Yes, we do have to bring him to the
So
hospital.
do you want to grab him by the legs and I'll grab him by the
So-
elbows?
So are you in now that you're kind of breathing and you can talk to me?
Yeah, I can talk.
Are you in any pain?
Well, I'm an amateur contortionist, so I haven't perfected this.
Has your friend here tried to help you go back into normal shape?
He poisoned me.
Well, that's not what I'm asking.
Can you call the cops? He poisoned me. He said it was broccoli.
If you would like the police, we'd have the police
poisoned
meet us
him.
at the hospital and you can file a report.
There's a gun on the floor.
Danielle, you play the gun.
Bang, bang.
Uh-oh.
And
Scene. Ah. Excellent. Excellent. Yay. That was fun.
that was great.
That was great. Well, Andy, you're a hero.
Sure.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, you are. You are.
Thank you, guys.
For doing
No,
this show.
this was great. We really loved having you. We always save the best part of the episode for the very end. So if you've made it this far and you're listening to that, congratulations. You caught the part that most people probably didn't.
That's right.
Yep. We want to thank you for doing this. Thank you for everything that you do and on a daily basis.
And we'll get out of your way when you're coming on the highway.
Yes, I promise we will pull to the side, and I promise that my history of Pancreas will never stop me from calling you.
All right.
And yeah, and next time we move, you'll be there.
Yeah. As a spectator only, John.
Yes. Well, Andy, thank you again.
You're welcome, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, a cool side production hosted by John Panepinto and Frank Caiati, with contributors Matt Hunt, Joe Hagopian, and Tom Zaccheo, and engineered by me, Danielle Rosefisher. Find us online at nothing-podcast.com, and be sure to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed.